looking at the screen. I won't look for her.
No, it's not necessarily for you. It's for everybody else now.
Every record you hit, we will be following you. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway you make, every cross, every goal, every dunk, every stone.
See the worry in this guy's face.
Every
Studio. Mics are up.
Welcome inside the locker room.
Lagos, we're live with Locker Room, and that's where we talk sports. It's Locker Room 981 Lagos. If you're using that hashtag on Smooth 981 FM, if you're tweeting us, tweet us on Twitter, use that hashtag Locker Room 981. You can send a message to WhatsApp, all right, so we can read them out during the show. The number is 0809 440981. Joining Folu Storms and myself, Valentine, we have Tega Supreme. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Fine as usual.
When somebody hails you like that, say, hey, Tega, you know?
Well, I don't know why people are excited in the mornings. I don't get it. I don't understand this excitement in the mornings.
Because it's smooth breakfast time.
Duh.
Thank God
Hello.
for locker room.
We're about to talk sports. Lagos talk sports with us. Use that hashtag locker room 981. Make sure you tweet at us with the hashtag, and of course send in your messages as well to our WhatsApp number, which is
0809 444 981.
and
Also,
last but not least, we are streaming live on YouTube.
that's right. Now, Kastina United chairman Aminu Balile Kurfi said that coach Rohr does not need all the foreign-based Super Eagles players to play against Seychelles on the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier coming up on the 8th of September. In his words, the 24-man list should at least have 5 home-based players to complement the list playing Seychelles, but all the players except Ezenwa are foreign-based. He was quoted as saying. He continued, said the likes of Junior Lokosa of Kano Pillars and some of the players who played against Atletico Madrid ought to have been considered, but surprisingly, the coach went on to invite unknown players from second division clubs in Europe. He does not watch enough games in the Nigerian Professional Football League and therefore generally shows disregard for players in the NPFL.
Okay, first of all, there's no Nigerian Football League for him to be watching games. They've been on strike since people decided to fight at the NFF. You cannot blame the guy.
Yeah.
You who are not playing. He can't see you. He cannot see you. Maybe after the 8th of September. And I think the only reason why he called Ezenwa, because, I'm not sure he's going to play that Ezenwa at the end of the day. Do you understand? Like, let him just... To play what? Let's not fool ourselves. You can call them his hands. There's some players from the second division, and there's some players that are full back to the third division. Their league is shut on, is running. They are training every day. Your league is not. You don't even know when you're going to start. I mean, they brought out a tentative date after the resolution, let's call it that, of the issues at the NFF, but it's still tentative dates and nothing is happening. And I know people say, but Enyimba went to play in intercontinental championships and they won. Yeah, that's Enyimba's prerogative. This is the national team. Rohr is like, let me get people that are already informed and in shape, and we move.
Yep.
And so when people start complaining that there are no local based home based players, don't talk too much. Just face your NFF and your sports minister and make sure that they're playing. If they're playing and he's seeing them and then he's not picking them, then we can bring out our pitchforks and our cutlasses. But until then, leave the man alone. There's no league to pick from. He did not see any league. That's why he did not watch any league, which is why he did not pick any player.
All right. Well, let's move on now. Talk about our basketball players, our female basketball players. So the Tigers point guard Kalu Izine Kalu has demanded extra focus from her teammates as they start the second part of camp and get a solid defense going. I expect that everyone will come in and stay focused because the second phase of camp is most important. I guess this is following from the last news
Yes.
that we heard of the girls scrapping.
Oh, so after the fights
Like,
and the police reports and everything that is still pending when they will go back to America to sort it out. the girls are now in camp. There was a delay. They're supposed to come earlier in the week. They ended up coming towards the end of last week.
Okay.
The World starting on the 25th, I think, of this month. So if they don't focus now, there's never going to be any focus. So she's just trying to rally her troops around, like they get together. She's one of the leading voices of the team. She's one of the people that players look up to. Yes, she's not the captain of the team, but doesn't mean that if she speaks, you will not listen. And so she's just saying, you know what, we can put aside our differences for now and then focus on trying to have a good World Cup outing. But what it is the MBF has tried to, in their words, resolve the problem, but they invite one of the they didn't invite the
Angel
Ijoma
parties.
girl, they didn't invite the Ijoma girl. So the warring parties, as the main warring party, one of the main warring parties, not there. There's still some people underneath that grumbling, saying, so people are showing favoritism to this other person. But they are not outspoken. They are not ready to lose their places. So everybody's just calm. So for now, everybody's facing the World Cup. Maybe after the World Cup, we can now have a general meeting, sit down and talk about it, or go to jail for it, or because you know how it is when you report assault in the US. It's not like in Nigeria. She slapped you. What did you tell her? They will, depending on what it is. So at the end of the day, they will sort that out later. But for now, the World Cup is this month.
All right.
Oh, sorry, it's next month.
Next
guys.
month, actually.
Guys, get yourself together. I'm already in September. So I'm here.
All of us are ready.
I know, this week.
We understand.
Now, concern was the word that Lewis Hamilton used to describe his feelings about the rest of the season after his title rival, Sebastian Vettel's dominant victory in the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, Hamilton pointed out afterwards, he says, they've had the upper hand on us for some time. He drove past me like I wasn't even there on the streets. They just outperformed us today, and we've got to work harder. But there are things that they have on the car that we might not have on our car, and vice versa. But we've got to try and find out what that is and improve on that. That's it, he said.
It's going to be a tough time for Mercedes because yes, Ferrari had again, we're still asking the question: what has Ferrari done to their engines that they have just a little more power than everybody else on the grid?
Yes.
Well, like the FIA said, it's not illegal, but I'm not telling you what it is. So we are all waiting to find out what the mystery thing that they did is. But what it is that the Ferraris are faster, and this track was a power track, especially down the streets. The extra advantage of the Ferrari showed against the Mercedes all weekend. So for if you're racing one lap to try and get pole position, somebody can make a mistake and there's not enough time for him to try and out-qualify you, and you can manage to get pole position. Just like Lewis Hamilton did. Again, it rained when nobody expected it to rain, and Lewis Hamilton, like the duck in water. I don't know how this guy does it in water. There's something about Lewis Hamilton and water. Once there's rain, everybody's like, it's happening. Guys, step aside. And so the rain came during Q3, and he was able to win pole position. But he couldn't keep it because, again, as soon as he won, when they look at the weather conditions for the next day, they're like, down the straight, Ferrari is going to overtake him, and Vettel was right behind him. And I kid you not, like clockwork. At the exact place that they said Vettel was going to have the advantage, it did not take 2 minutes. Like Vettel blinked and he had left Lewis Hamilton behind. So Lewis Hamilton could only chase, and it could come down to strategies, stops and all that. But it still didn't work, because even if Lewis Hamilton had overtaken him at the pit stop, which is where they were very close, which is where Hamilton cut down from 3 seconds to like 1 second, he still would have overtaken Hamilton in the straight. So it's clear that the Ferrari is faster. So it's down to strategy now, and maybe a bit of bad luck or reliability issues that will happen to Ferrari for Mercedes to take advantage. And what makes it worse is that Monza, which is the next race next weekend, is also a power track. And it's Ferrari's home track. So the Mercedes are just going to, it's like they're already preparing for damage control. So that 17-point gap that is between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel already looks like it's going to go down. So that's why he's worried and concerned.
I just imagine the scientists taking big fast paychecks back home. You know, oh boy, that's a big win for them.
All right, let's carry on. We see a few of your messages coming through very quickly. Chima B. Victor from Alaba International says the Katina Katina state chairman doesn't know what he's saying. Which MPFL does he want Ghana Raw to watch? Is it the league that has been on strike since April 2018? Maybe he has a separate league, which is only him that is watching. Bash from Yaba also sends the message to say, Tega, you are disappointed. You have dodged the question/criticism of Raw. Is it today that Raw has not been watching league ever since he came, which is more than 1.5 years? He's never considered our local league.
But he speaks to people. This time he picked only Zenwa. You guys should calm down.
Everyone should just be calm. Walter from Magodo says, all right, good morning, everyone. Great race yesterday and dominant performance by Vettel and Ferrari. They've had the quickest car for some time and they are using it to good effect right now. It's likely to be more of the same next week in Monza and Singapore after that.
Nah, Singapore is not a power track, so...
Okay. Also goes on to say that Hamilton and Mercedes have a real battle on their hands, and it will be a true test of their fortitude because Ferrari will not make the same mistakes of last year. However, if any driver can pull this off, I put my small loot on Hamilton.
Small.
On that note, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue with the sporting stories. Keep it locked right here. This is Smooth Breakfast with Valentine
And Folu.
and Tega Onojaife, aka Tega Supreme.
Smooth breakfast.
Singapore is not a power track. You'll be alright in Singapore. It's kind of like a street track, so he has again. He has to
Like rally racing.
Should be told he has to out-qualify Vettel in Singapore. If not, in Singapore it tends to be like the person in front wins.
The end.
The end.
Simple.
It's Monaco.
No time for long story.
Doja Cat.
No time to waste time.
There's now golden one pop. You should be giving all this thing to sample now. You understand? No need to play advice. You understand? Play the advice. They will know how many times you should play the advice. So we should play ever loud or no. You understand? I don't like the way they are doing breakfast thing. I don't like it. Golden one pops.
There's no how it's gonna be like.
No, there are 4 phones, and you can only fit into one of 4 phones at a time. No risk, appetite, and age. Awesome. So as a 28-year-old guy can move from phone to phone. No, brother, this is based on your real age.
I need 2.5.
I was born in 1987. I know when
I know when you were born. I need $2,500 only.
Nice.
How much?
2.5. If you know how.
Dolls.
How much is it in naira really? I'm just looking for it in dollars because that's what I'm going to pay for the thing I want. So like, it's not a lot of money now.
Put these things out in the universe.
$5. Pere.
Sheraton Link Road, Keja, Lagos.
And I was here trying to look for
Come get your
miles only flights, so free flights. And I couldn't find any, and I said, okay, let me look for miles plus money. And I couldn't find any in economy, so I said, okay, let me see if I look at premium economy. And they were telling me $4,000.
What? Cash.
I was like, I don't understand. I'll pay you $4,000 and give you my miles.
Again,
On top of the,
No.
what's the point of the miles?
1,000.
I don't close the page. Who has time for that kind of
It's
stuff?
1.3 million.
We just tell my love that it's like I'm not going to see me. Dash out.
We have already collected the dollar.
Yes, now. Do you know? That's exactly what I've been doing.
And it's supposed to be off peak, so I don't really understand where that carbon came
move is
from.
coming.
They just looked at me that this one has been flying. Maybe she has money. I closed the page. There's no time. Just know yourself.
I just need $2,500.
I'll just go to like a pine Tropicana and shout.
Or maybe I should do 2,600 because if I pay for the stuff, I still have to let them send it to someone.
That's right. Every home deserves the new Golden One Pops breakfast cereal. The new Golden One Pops available in 500-gram pack and 50-gram sachet. For
Baba?
nutritious and
No.
Yeah, no.
charged up for school.
Okay.
My favorite guy. You know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Eva.
Hi people, my name is Greg.
Studio.
If you want
Max are up.
Stay tuned to Smooth 98.1.
Great music An even better conversation inside of the locker room. Right now, it's smooth 98.1.
And we've got sports stories to get into this morning, so let's go talk tennis, shall we? Alexander Zverev is relishing the challenge of taking on established greats Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic in pursuit of his first Grand Slam title. He says, if you want to win a Grand Slam the tough way. You want to play and compete with the best players in the world. This, he said, as he prepared for the start of the US Open. And he also said that Ivan Lendl has offered invaluable advice on how to tackle the top players. He said there's a lot of tactical work, a lot of tactical talk against all sorts of players, not only the big four. He's a smart man, a great guy, done it as a player, done it as a coach, so he knows what it takes. He knows how to make the best players even better. That's why I took him, added Zverev, who he also considered hiring German great Boris Becker.
Yeah, I think
Is this talk gonna
I think he took the right person. And Van Lindel also helped Murray with his first set of Grand Slam. He was the one that broke it. So he's the right person. It's just that Van Lindel also is ambitious with playing. He doesn't want to leave that playing of tennis. So he always he doesn't really have as much time. But Zverev has a family structure that has tennis history with them, and that's how they move around the world. Congratulations to him. But if you ask me, I'd rather get the simple players and then get to the finals and start playing big names. No need to start hustling from the very scratch. Yeah. So US Open starts today, and I know there's so much news about the controversy of French Open banning Serena's catsuit, saying that it's disrespectful to the game. You don't mind that man.
And I love
instead of that man to just tell
reply.
exactly as it's also the Nike's reply. It's not him to just tell us what is worrying him. There's been also talk about the draws, but what is impressive is that at the end of the day, it comes down to what everybody does on court. And there's going to be Murray at the US Open, Federer at the US Open, Wawrinka, Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal. All the names that should be there are there. May the best man
win. All right. Now, La Liga has opened an investigation into Real Valladolid's deplorable pitch following their defeat by Barcelona on Saturday. Now, players had to replace chunks of turf that became dislodged during the Spanish champions' 1-0 win at the Estadio José Zorrilla. In a statement from Barcelona midfielder Sergio Busquets, he says, there were areas that seemed more like a beach. It's incredible that no one from La Liga felt they should come and check the grass. You can't play on that. La Liga issued a statement, though, after the game to confirm that it's investigating why the pitch did not meet the minimum conditions demanded by the competition.
I'm sorry, they should investigate themselves first. So this club is newly promoted, which means that they haven't been enjoying the kind of money that La Liga seems to have been enjoying.
Yes.
And they only relayed their pitch on Tuesday. At least somebody should have gone to inspect to say, okay, you're up to scratch. It's like when some clubs qualify for UEFA Champions League, UEFA just looks at that pitch and like, nah, you can't play at that stadium. Just look for a new stadium to borrow.
Right.
Sometimes they do that. So La Liga didn't even take care of this issue. And then they get on the pitch. Have you seen Eba that they made with cold water? You see how it breaks. Thank you. That's exactly how the pitch looked. It was bad. And so Barcelona that likes to play free-flowing football, they couldn't. The Valladolid player knew better to put the ball in the air. So they didn't have time to dribble too much. They passed the ball, one-touch football. Sometimes they put it in the air. But I mean, Barcelona, you would take a kick and your standing foot would dig deep into the ground. Yeah, it was a horrible pitch.
Maybe they had an infestation. They had that's right. Just cover it up, pat it down.
So on Tuesday, when they relayed the pitch, everybody looked at it from top and was like, "That looks good."
Yeah.
Nobody went to check. That one.
I told you,
So
patted it down.
yeah.
They say it's okay.
So they get on the pitch and clumps, literally. There several times during the pitch.
They're flying up.
The players were relaying the pitch by themselves.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it was horrible. But at the end of the day, Barcelona was able to get a result. They won that game by 1-0. Lucky break too, because Valladolid seemed to know better their own pitch. And they did get an equalizing goal, but from VAR review, referee ruled it as
they even had VAR on that pitch.
They have VAR in La Liga now. Whether it's beach sand or normal pitch.
Nice.
And then Real Madrid looking very smooth. Of the top three, Real Madrid has looked smoothest so far. So let's see how this La Liga
road in the Premier League after being held to a 1-1 draw against Wolves on Saturday. Listen, Wolves fought with their whole soul Premier League game. We have to continue in that previous press conference, and in my experience, they are tough games at the start against against newly promoted clubs, and it's always good to win, but we wanted to win, he told the club's official website.
Yeah,
They
he
were
did.
playing at home in Wolverhampton. The crowd was loud.
The crowd was loud, and
Hey.
everything seemed to work in their favor, including the.
Come on, it was a tough one for the rest to call.
I mean,
it was tough.
because
no VAR in Premiership.
First of all, it did manifest right. The person's hand. I didn't see one that it was a handball, but I saw that he was offside because by the time he was already ahead. He got offside. The referee didn't rule offside. Then they showed the replay and it was handball. I was like, how do you get it with 2 strikes?
I was very lucky for them.
But they did put in their hard work and they didn't come with any fear. They were like, this is your tiki-taka to yourself.
I'm gonna die on the line.
and some are going to be tough for Manchester City and Liverpool and Chelsea and the rest of them. Even Liverpool had an ugly game. They did win. Salah scored again, but they had an ugly win. So they are going to be these teams that are tough. And it's not only newly promoted sides, they're just full of ancestral spirits, like I said, in this EPL.
Because I was going to ask you, because they are a newly promoted side, yes, Wolverhampton, and they did play with a lot of pace, especially starting off. Do you think they're going to be able to keep this up throughout? Because they also started
that. Yeah, I mean, Wolverhampton is it's a newly promoted side, yes, and so Pep Guardiola may say he did not understand them. I don't think that's exactly true because he researches. I mean, the thing I've heard about him is that he will look at the team to their families. But what it is that there are teams like that when they want to play against tough sides, they bring out the bottom pots, their best football, and so they did that. They were lucky to get away with a few calls on their side, but the truth is, the reason why Pep Guardiola is not complaining is that Manchester City on a normal day would outscore you, and they didn't on the day, so that's where the problem was.
So Gary Neville says Manchester United need a big game to get back on track after the defeat to Brighton ahead of Monday's clash against Tottenham. Now, the noise at the moment, according to him, surrounded United is what everyone is concentrating on. But just looking at a match and Spurs' history coming to Manchester United, they haven't turned up in the last 2 or 3 years, Neville said. United cannot be anywhere near where they were at Brighton on Sunday. I think this is what they need. They need a big game. They need a big opponents, and Tottenham has been friendly opponents at Old Trafford in the last few years. Tottenham have to turn up, if they do, it will be a very difficult game for Manchester United, he added.
True. First of all, the Tottenham players have been together a while and they've been solid for a while. They have strength in depth on their bench. They have players that understand now the coach and the system. They have everything going for them. On the other hand, Manchester United has been a team that needed more people and didn't get as much people as they needed. They got in one player, and even that player still needs time to adapt to the system. So you're talking about a Manchester United side that is not pretty to watch, that is not fluid, that have some players that feel entitled, and then a coach that seems like he's disjointed with his players and the board. So there is just a lot of drama going on at Manchester United, and this game, if you ask me, came a bit too quickly, especially after that loss at Brighton. But they're going to have to play. They're going to have to play against an Eriksen and Harry Kane that has finally scored in August. They're going to play against a team that is solid. So it's going to be a tough test for Manchester United, but no better way to start the Premier League than know your fate.
Right.
And so this game will make them know their fate. If Tottenham bring it on the day, Manchester United are done for. But Manchester United also know how to break up a pretty play. So let's see how it turns out for them. I still think it tilts in favor of Tottenham, but Manchester United can bring anything.
We'll see that game today, see how that turns out. Now, Cruz on WhatsApp says, after the race, Lewis Hamilton, he said, stood looking at Vettel's car like, nah, wow.
I'm telling you, that picture was epic. He just stood in front of the car like, what are these people doing?
What is in this car, really? Jerry from Mishaga says, nice drive from Vettel. Keeping that gap close to Hamilton now, we can all enjoy Formula One instead of watching only Mercedes monopoly. Congrats to Arsenal for winning, but albeit not convincingly. Plus, Lady Luck and Chelsea seem to be having a wonderful romance. Anyway, on that note, we'll come back to the messages right after this break. We're listening to Smooth 98.1 FM and sports stories inside of the locker room. Use that hashtag on Twitter at Smooth 981 FM, hashtag locker room 981.
This is IBK. Spaceship Boy, and it's your breakfast show with Valentine and Folu Storms on Smooth 98.1.
Which one is IBK again? Where am I that I don't know half this?
is a Nigerian musician. Super talented.
They'll be alright. If they don't have 2,500 to give me, they're not talented. All I need is $5. No, I need 2.6. I've made up my mind. I think it's 2.6.
Here you, dear sports analyst, analyzing Formula One this lovely morning. Do you know we're racing here in Nigeria too? On a closed circuit purpose-built racetrack. We even had a race yesterday.
Really?
Think it could make the news. Love your show.
Yeah, not today, but interesting.
Yeah.
Ashley, can you open it in a new link? I'm curious.
They'll be alright.
Ashley Racing.
Oh, that's true. They had an exhibition early this year. At
Oh, it's like
Miracle
rally,
Lab.
but it's like rally racing.
Yes.
It's different.
They exhibited these cars early this year at Miracle Lab.
Oh, that's so cute.
So
They didn't
nice.
invite me,
They
so
had,
they can't. I can't help that.
Oh,
They had Monster
tag you
and
in
some
it.
other people branding, supporting them with brands.
it's rally racing. Fun. Dangerous, but
Yeah.
fun. I knew people in union that were rally racers. I think they were not in union for long. They ended up in hospital after.
There's another race in Africa. This guy used to do F1 or F2, and he's now come to Africa to do a lot of stuff. So I'm even following his own. I think he has one in September, but I'll preview that one. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
He's
Sports
brought it to
development,
Africa.
not only
Yeah.
football.
So he's
Sports
getting
is more than
African
football.
drivers and all. He's
Yeah.
actually
And I
fantastic.
hope it's my last first date because I really do like this guy. We really connect.
At Uber, we do much more than taking you from one
I bet shut up. This Uber that can upset me.
connect with the people that matter most to you. Uber, your ride when it matters.
We're back.
Hi, this is Lettucey, and you're
Studio.
on Nigeria's #1 station for soul, jazz, and funk. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
That's true. And talking sports inside of the locker room right now, use that hashtag lockerroom981.
All right, over to some of your messages as they make it through with the hashtag LockerRoom981. Ogweni Femi says Liverpool has an ugly 1-0 win, Brighton no problem. Man United has an ugly 1-0 win over Brighton. Boring Jose out. Sorry now, don't be angry. Don't be angry. Up next, Lukman from Ijebode says, listen, Man United play tonight against Spurs. I hope the United can win tonight because I don't understand Mourinho anymore. He also says, I wish Nadal a smooth run at Flushing Meadows.
Smooth.
All right. Eniola Samuel says, what a game. When it was 1-1, I was saying to myself, the old castle is at it again. But we were able to turn them to no castle by collecting our 3 naira from them. So that Hazard can buy body pain relief. The kicking no be here. Oh. And I think the Sari magic is gradually coming into fruition. Interesting. Barker played on a cassava farm. It was too funny, but good thing they were able to hustle, though. Yeah, true winners.
That's a true definition.
Toya from Agodo says, I agree that Singapore is not a power track, but one of the weaknesses of Mercedes is that it isn't the most efficient aerodynamically. This means that it struggles in slow speed corners. Singapore is full of them, and Merck only won last year because of the rain and the crash. Ferrari have the most aerodynamically efficient car on the grid at the moment.
I know, I don't agree. Mercedes does. So that I think it comes down to what they do in qualifying. Because if you get pole, you do pole. That is that simple.
Okay. And Olumide Adeni says that luck or no luck, Chelsea obviously deserve to win. Not after playing with 9 men behind the ball for Newcastle. Yeah, let's clap for Chelsea. Okay, some more coming in. Sharif Oluwaleke Akimbi says Chelsea started the season like a house on fire, even using luck to win my darling Arsenal. I hope they won't complain when teams finally find the Sarri ball out. Okay, very interesting stuff. Thank you for that. And we've got a couple of comments that have come through on our live stream. So let's see if we can read these out. Keels in Ballistics says nothing related to sports. Absolutely nothing related to sports. So let's leave that alone. This final message is in from Emmanuel Osai, who says, Tega, I'm surprised that you haven't mentioned anything about the Women Under 17 World Cup. I beg, tell us something about the game.
Did you qualify?
Oh my goodness. We're done. Lagos, let's get back in 15 minutes to talk. And that is when you get to talk Lagos instead of Lagos Talks 981. Remember that number to call by that time, 0144899881. Or you can send a message to WhatsApp 0809 4440981. Follow Tega Supreme on Twitter at Tega Supreme, or you can catch up on the latest information and news surrounding ladies in sports at LIS International. Folu and I will be here in 15 minutes to talk to you. Until then, good morning.